This is Get Real and Heal for Type A women executives and entrepreneurs, where we discuss all things emotional healing and the relationships with yourself, your man, and your money. I'm your host, Jamila McMallow, wife, mother, certified cognitive behavioral therapy practitioner, mindset and relationship expert with over 20 years coaching and mentoring experience. I know that when you're the one that everyone else leans on, the leader and the trailblazer, it can be difficult to let your guard down, be vulnerable, and tend to your own emotions. So I hope today's discussion will allow you a moment to experience a life-changing realization, perhaps even a transformation. So let's begin and get real and heal. Alrighty, so today's topic is one that I think you're going to find very interesting if you are single. If you're that type A woman that is single and struggling to find a good man, it feels like you can't find one that I'm going to say this because when women say this to me, it always makes me go like, please, but that you feel like all the guys you find are intimidated by you when that's not the case, and we're going to get into it. But if that's kind of your situation, maybe you're divorced, maybe you've always been single, but you're just fiercely independent and you would love to have a man, a masculine man take the lead, etc., and you just aren't finding that, we're going to talk about why, okay? So we're going to talk about masculine and feminine energy a little bit, okay? So feminine energy and masculine energy, as you know, are opposites, and we all possess that, right? Well, if you want a masculine man, and by masculine, I don't mean domineering, tyrannical, any of those things. I mean just a manly man, a man who opens the doors, picks up heavy things, wants to take care of you, is a good provider. All of these qualities that are very masculine, a doer, a leader, all of those things. Like I said, we all possess feminine and masculine energy, and we move in and out of them at all times. But sometimes what can happen if we are that type A go-getter, driven, determined woman, then we might be, our dominant energy might be masculine. We might always be operating in our masculine energy. And the beautiful side of masculine energy is that it no doubt has allowed you to create a successful career or business. It maybe could have come out of you having gone through a tough childhood or having to grow up too fast. And so your femininity maybe perhaps came to be viewed as a weakness or a vulnerability, something that you needed to hide or feel shameful about. Or maybe you were raised by a mother who was dominant in her masculine energy and didn't model what healthy femininity looked like. Or she taught you it was weak or bad, like don't cry, don't show your emotions, don't show weakness. And so the fact is if your dominant energy is masculine, then you're actually going to be repelling the exact type of man that you desire to be with, right? Because you say you want a masculine man who will lovingly lead you, lead your family, that you can rely on, that you can trust, that's going to provide for you. But that means you have to lean back and let him do that. That means you have to allow him to do that. It means that there has to be a need there. Not saying a need in that you need a man to validate you or to make you feel good about yourself, or that you're only happy if you have a man. That's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother day, okay? But the fact is, if you're always in your masculine energy, if your dominant way of being is in your masculine energy, then you're not only repelling masculine men, even if you happen to attract one, they won't continue to deal with you. Because you can't outman a man. You can't outman a real man. And he's not going to compete with you. He will simply stop dealing with you. So the key is learning how to shift back into your feminine energy without feeling unsafe or like you're going to lose your edge. Okay. And so because your relationship with your femininity has been traumatized or hurt in some way, like you could have even maybe seen your mom use hers in a sexual way. And that's how men seem to always show up. Maybe she had a revolving door of boyfriends. I had a client who that was the situation with her mom, and she didn't respect her mother, and she never wanted to be that way. And so, and she had a low opinion of men. And so those things can affect us, those things from childhood, how we experienced our parents' presence and absence, their masculinity, their femininity, their relationship with each other and other men and women, that shaped who we became and how we're now showing up as adult women. But here's the thing. I know that you want a happy, healthy relationship with a good man. I know that you want him to be a masculine, manly man that's leading the family, that you feel like you can really lean on, that can hold you up. And the reason why I say masculine, manly man is because you feel like you're strong and there's a heaviness and a weight to who you are and who you have to show up and be. And so you're looking for somebody that can carry that. You're looking for somebody that can hold you up, so that you don't have to do it on your own anymore. You're tired. I get it. You're tired. You're not needy. You're not desperate. You're tired. And there is nothing wrong with desiring a husband. There's nothing wrong with desiring to have a partnership for the rest of your life. There's nothing wrong with that. The key is, of course, you have to choose wisely, right? So many of the negativity and misconceptions and all the crap that people have around marriage and relationships and masculinity and men, it comes from the fact that these are women chose poorly, myself included the first time. When you choose poorly, it can leave a bad taste in your mouth, but it's not the arrangement of marriage. It's not all men. It's that in my own weakness and unhealed trauma, I chose poorly. And so if that's been the case for you, that's what's going on. It's not all men. It's not that they can't be trusted. It's not that they don't exist. Good men do exist. I know I found one and been married for almost a decade at the time of this recording. And so my point is that's absolutely possible for you. So it's absolutely possible for you to find someone who's as driven and a go-getter as you are. Or maybe not, right? Because those aren't inherently just what makes a man masculine. Like my husband is more introverted, but he is a very masculine man, and he is the leader of our family, and he's not domineering, and he's not loud or any of those things like me. And so, but I'm a very feminine woman, and so I'm okay with and allow him to be who he is for our family. We were talking and kind of joking, and I was like, I don't, and I was talking about this topic with him. I said, I don't try to outman you. He's like, no, you don't. Yeah, I let him be a man, and I always have. I allow men to be men. It's the same thing like when you're getting ready to walk into a building and you're running, trying to outrun the guy that's walking there so you can get to the door first. Why? Hang back. Slow down a few paces. Allow him to get the door for you. And when he opens it, say thank you. It's nothing sexual about it. It is simply allowing men to show their goodness because they do have it in them. You know what I'm saying? But when we don't believe that about them or we don't allow that, then we're going to have the experience that we believe is true and possible for us. So I know for me, I've never had a man not open the door for me. I know that rude men are out there. I'm not saying all men are good men. They're not. But there are good ones. But when you allow a man to show that nature side of himself to you, and it's not in a romantic way, it's not in a sexual way, it's just him being a good man. When you allow him to do that, that's how he's going to show up. So start practicing leaning back and allowing men to be men. When you're getting up to that door, stop trying to outman that man and outrun him to the door. So hang back. Just a couple paces. Allow him to open the door for you. When you're at the grocery store and they say, ma'am, do you need some help with that? Yes. Allow yourself to receive assistance when you're putting your groceries into the car. Become conscious of ways that you are emitting this energy of not needing anybody. If you're stuck in that bitter and angerousness of, I don't need no man, I can do it myself. Okay, well then, you know what? You're right. You don't need a man, and you won't find one, and they're not going to show up because you're not open. You're not open. So the key is, like I said, is to start learning how to lean into your femininity in a healthy way, to heal the childhood trauma that's got you feeling and believing that if you do that, it's a weakness or a vulnerability. It's not. It's actually your strength and your superpower. You just have to understand how to use it in a healthy way. And then you really have to consciously become aware of ways that you can start practicing doing this in your everyday life. Okay? So shifting in and out of your masculine and feminine energy in a healthy way is what's going to open the door up for you to allow that good masculine, manly man that you want to flow into your life, and for you to have that happy, healthy relationship that you are seeking. Okay? So that's what I had for you today. Thank you for listening to today's episode. Be sure to visit CoachJamila.com, where you'll find the links to connect with me on social media and more information on my private bespoke coaching for Type A high-performing women executives and entrepreneurs.